Hello, everyone. I'm Kerry George from CIBN Connect, and I am really excited to talk to you today about how to use your network. And, we've built a rather large network. I'm going to talk to you about how we use our network, but how to use any network that you have been working with or building with. This is what I'm going to talk about today. I have 5 major points, 5 major things or major ways that you can use your network so that your business can be more profitable and so that you can get ahead in life faster. So I'm going to be getting into that. 5 reasons, 5 ways, 5 things that you can do to use your network. So let's talk about, first of all, what kind of network you might have, because some people have been out building a network where they've been meeting people and they've just been adding to their connections lists, and maybe they think their network is what they have online on their Facebook group or in their LinkedIn associates and connections. They might be calling that their network. And I would say all that is good, absolutely, and you should. But when I'm talking about networking, and even when I'm talking about social networking, I'm not just talking about Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm actually talking about attending meetings, live meetings or online meetings, where you have a group of people that are getting to know, like, and trust you. We do a lot of it in Zoom meetings at CIBN Connect, and you can find more about that on our website at thecibn.com. On the event page, there's always some free events that you can go and try out and try some real networking where you're actually talking to people. And if you're following us on YouTube, you've seen me talk before about networking at CIBN TV, if you go look that up. And we have a lot of tips and tricks for you there as well. But today I want to talk about how to use the network for your own profitability. So point number 1 I'm going to start with is go to everything you can in a network. Networks generally have events. So it doesn't really matter what kind of a network it is. If belong to the Chamber of Commerce and you put out the money to be part of that network, go to as many of the events as you can. If they don't have them live, go online and let your face be seen so that people can get to know, like, and trust you at that event. I know many of you might be a part of a large Facebook group like the WEN group, the Women Entrepreneurs Network, where I'm broadcasting this into is one of the places that's seeing this. That is like a network, okay? Haley does a great job. She puts on some events every month for you guys to attend. Go to those networking events. Take advantage of those networking events. And, if you can attend something on Zoom, let your face be seen. One of the things that I see sometimes out there when I'm networking with different groups, out in the universe of all the networking that I do, I'll get invited to somebody's Zoom meeting, maybe another network that's putting on something, a competing network to ours might ask me to come sometimes speak or something like that. And one of the things that I see is that people keep their screen dark on a Zoom meeting, and they seem to be afraid to say who they are or what they do. And I've even had them say, "Oh, Kerry, I don't want people contacting me." Well, what are you there for? Okay, if you're going to a networking event, really you're going because you want to have business. You want to get business. And I hope that you're in business because you want to get more business, right? So one of the ways of getting more business is putting a great big "I'm open for business" sign over your life. And actually, when you go to a networking event, make sure that you do stuff like post your name, your contact information, your phone number, email address, your website, and that you ask people to book one-on-ones with you if there's ever that opportunity. So at CIBN Connect, in my company, we make that opportunity, and every event we have, we say book a meeting from the meeting, because why be doing it tomorrow, right? It just, it wastes time to do it tomorrow. And there's 2 things that business owners always have a problem with: not enough time, not enough money. So we'd like to try to provide solutions to that right away. I see Facebook user there. Hello, I can't tell who you are, but it says those events are your key to success. I absolutely agree. If there's any events that are going on and you're able to, by all means, take advantage of that, and try to take in as many of those events as you can. There might be training events, and if they're, free for you or within your price range and there's good quality stuff, I mean, that also can be very, very good for you to be growing and learning and adding to your value, right? Absolutely, Haley. I totally agree with everything that you're doing here on this channel. This is amazing. You are drawing people into a community, and that is huge. People need community. They need support, and anywhere they can get it, they should be taking advantage of that and coming to as much as they possibly can. Oh, that's Alan McDonald. Well, I feel like saying hallelujah. Alan McDonald's a longtime CIBN member, and he's actually watching this from Egypt right now. So that is awesome. Great to see you, Alan. Glad that you're here with us today. Awesome. Okay, my second thing that I want to tell you about how to use your network is to learn from it. Learn, okay? So in your network around you are all kinds of professionals. And one of the things that takes businesses out of business is making mistakes. And if you're part of a network, you should make a lot less mistakes because there are people who have gone before you and they're part of the network. So ask them, ask questions, find out things. If you have to buy marketing, you need marketing, look around your network and find out who's offering marketing that works, okay? Who has some kind of marketing program that you can actually pay for that brings results? And I see Haley Gray is here with us today. Haley has awesome marketing products, okay? She has ways to help you. If you're part of her network, I don't know why you'd look anywhere else. And if you want something that she doesn't do, I'm sure she knows someone who she could refer you to. And why you'd want to do that, you might say, well, I don't want to spend any money. Well, get used to being broke then, okay? Because when it comes to marketing, you got to spend some money, all right? But the important thing is that it's a fair price and that it's done well so that you can actually, move ahead in your business, okay? And you want to have it measurable. So if you know what the price is, if it's a fair price and you can actually tell that it's bringing results, that's what you want. And then you can scale it out. You can start small and you can scale it out as you go. But it's incredibly important. You see, in your network, you can find out who does this stuff. And you can find out if it's done well because other people are talking about it. And if you're not part of a network, what happens is you tend to go to Google and look up, well, who can do this thing for me? And that's how you get ripped off, okay? Time and time again, if you go to Google and find strangers who don't have any sense of accountability to you, like I once had a friend, I own a business network and she's an employee, so she didn't really understand that. And so she went on the internet and hired somebody to do like home improvements to her house and gave them like $70,000 and then lost that money because they took it and went on a trip instead of doing her work. Hello? Why did that happen? Because she went to the internet and she found strangers, okay? And stuff like that happens when they have no sense of accountability. But if they're part of a network and, that network has some leadership, and if they do something like take somebody's money and not provide the service, then the network kind of holds them accountable. Like they tell them, you can't do that here. You have to leave if that's, how you're going to behave yourself. And when we have those kind of accountabilities, happening inside of a network, you tend to get less of that kind of behavior in the first place. I can't tell you how long it's been since I had to hold somebody to task for something that they didn't deliver. It's been a long time because, we made it known years ago that we wouldn't put up with that baloney. And originally when we got started networking, I took over an existing network and we started doing networking in our city. And we encountered about 6 people, not very many. We have a city of 1 million. So we have a blacklist, about 6 people on it. That's all. And the only reason they're on there is because they refuse to repent. They like to take advantage of people. And they didn't want to, make up for what they had done in any way, shape, or form. So we're like, you know what, you got to go. And, we can't give you any kind of a good recommendation, right? And if you're in our network and you've been around for a while at CIBN Connect, we can stand with our members and say they do a good job. And we know that because the other members attest to it. They say, so-and-so did a great job, and they're able to write a recommendation for them. And they're willing to, stand with them and say, yeah, this is somebody you should hire. And if they're not that kind of a person, they tend to just kind of flush themselves out of the system. In no time at all, they quit, they disappear. And it's usually because they don't like accountability. Okay. So the network provides some of that. And in that, it's a tremendously safe place for people, because they can actually get the help that they need when they need it and avoid these great big mistakes. Another thing, when we learn from one another, we grow faster. Okay, you can find mentors within your network. You can find experts within the network. And then you not only miss out on mistakes, but the things that you do tend to get ahead faster, and you have less, like, being like that rat on the hamster wheel. It's just running and running and running and running and never getting anywhere. Okay. I run into business owners all the time who don't know about networking. In fact, 80% of all business owners fail in their first 5 years. And another interesting stat is Forbes a few years ago did a study of over 7,000 businesses from multiple industries across the United States and found out that 80% of them did zero networking. Think about that for a minute. They did zero networking, 80% of them. And 80% of businesses fail in their first 5 years. Hello? There's a direct correlation to those numbers. So networking not only makes you money, it saves you bacon. Okay, so you need to be doing networking and getting out there, because if you're networking, you're finding the experts, you're finding the support, and you're finding the clients that you need. So here's another thing, another way to use your network. Okay, this is number 3. Buy from your network. If you know that your network has more accountability within the network, why wouldn't you buy from them? So I buy everything I can from my network, okay? In fact, I am such a hard nose on this. I'll have people approach me and they got a really good idea or a really good product. And I'll be like, yeah, well, you should join the network so I can buy from you. They're like, what? Yeah, I come right out and say that. I do, because I own the network. Of course, I have to exemplify how to behave within the network. And, I have people pitching me on stuff like crazy, and they want to take my time to give me their pitch. Sometimes they want an hour of my time. My time is for the members within CIBN Connect. It's not for strangers who just want to bombard me with their stuff. And there's lots of them. You ever friend somebody on Facebook and instantly they pounce on you? They're like a rabid Saint Bernard, like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Ah, okay, wow. Stop that crap, okay? It's terrible. People need to get to know, like, and trust you before you start doing that, okay? And don't do it like that anyway. Just ask questions, find out more. But I tell you, if you want my business, the best way is join CIBN Connect, because then as a member, I feel very, much like I want to find out more about what you do. I want to get in there. I want to try and help you out, right? Because you're a member, you paid money in my organization. I want to make sure that I assist you. Our members as well feel very much in tune with other members. They know that they've made a financial investment. They got skin in the game. They know that they're coming to meetings. They're invested in the organization, and they tend to buy from each other. And if you're part of a network, whether it's ours or whether it's Haley's network or whether it's some other network, invest in your network. Buy your services within the network. Don't go out and bless strangers with your money. Okay. You know what? Strangers get less and less of my money every year. I have to tell you, I don't like Jeff Bezos. Said that out loud. Yeah, I don't. I don't like big box stores. I don't like the fact that they're cleaning up right now and our small businesses are struggling. That makes me actually fairly angry. Okay. Don't like that the governments are siding with those big businesses and the little guys are struggling. That's not nice. I actually look for every place that I can. First, I look in my network, and then I look for small business. And you know what? I've made buying decisions in this last couple of years that might be a little odd to some people, because I don't want to go give hundreds of dollars a month to the big box stores. So I look for markets where I can buy my vegetables locally and bless somebody who's in my community. I look for somebody who raises their own beef, who wants to sell it. I look for small butcher shops that are buying local beef. That's what I look for. And I try to support those people in the community over the big box stores. Does it cost more money? Yeah, I have a plan for that. It's called Make More Money. Stop being so cheap. Okay. I decided a few years ago that if I want to make the right decisions in life, I need to make more money. So fix the 6 inches right here, get at it. Okay. And start making more so that you can support things that matter. so that you're not doing this knee-jerk reaction all the time and buying the cheapest crap possible. It fills up the landfills and does nothing good for the planet. And support companies that, really do nothing but want to poison you. Do you know that companies like Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble actually have like a budget set aside to pay the lawsuits? Just think about that for a minute. Rather than reformulate a product and just take the poison out, they put aside money to pay the lawsuits out so that they can continue to feed you and your children poison. Why do you want to support that? Hello? So I don't like to support that. I like to support local. I like to support small business. I like to support multi-level marketing. I do, because they're usually smaller owned companies that actually have spent time and research in building a product. And I'd rather bless somebody in my network, who does that and have that money go to an individual than have it just be spent at, someplace where, I'm feeding the rich, the ultra rich, Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson, who do not deserve my money. Okay. I don't want to do business with people like that. And in fact, if they were in my network, I would throw them out. That's how strongly I feel about it. I wouldn't take their money. Okay. So buy from and support your network is number 3. And here's another thing. If your network has a membership fee, buy it, spend some money with them. Because if you invest money in your network, then you know what? You're part of that tribe and they see you as part of the tribe. There's so many advantages to that. And you usually get other privileges or training that you have access to. And you don't get that when you're living on freebies. Okay. I know a lot of people want to run around and do networking at free networking. Yeah, good luck with that. You'll be part of that population that believes that networking doesn't work, because it doesn't work that way. Okay. It actually works when you invest in the network and in each other. That's when it works. I started doing networking way back before I owned a network. I started doing it when I was in marketing. I needed to actually get clients. I went out and I tried some of those free groups, and I have to tell you, didn't get a lot of traction. But I had a mentor, and he said, well, you need to buy a membership and you need to be part of a community. I was like, okay, I'll do that. Well, right away, that made a difference. In my first year of networking, I think I did about $60,000 worth of volume came in from the network. And the next year, it was about $150,000. And it hasn't been less than that ever since. And I actually started mentoring other people on how to network properly around that point. That was about 2011 or 12. And I've been doing it ever since. So, it makes a huge difference if you do it correctly. Okay. Huge, huge difference if you do it correctly. I'm actually going to talk about that in a bit, about some things you can do correctly so that you can fully utilize and take advantage of your network. Okay. So then my third point is buy from and support your network. So number 1 was go to everything you can as far as events goes. Number 2 is learn from your network so you can avoid mistakes and grow faster. Number 3 was buy from and support your network. And here's number 4. Use your network to grow your list. All right. It's incredibly important to grow your list. If you don't grow your list, you are destined to be an ad buyer for the rest of your life. Now, for those of you who tried that, I probably found out that ad buying sucks. Okay. It's very costly. The algorithms change all the time. You kind of need a professional to run it or keep their eye on it if you're running your business. So it's an extra person that you're paying. And why are you using the ads in the first place? It's because you don't have a network. You don't have connections. So basically what you do when you buy an ad, you are paying Facebook to use their connections so that you can market your stuff to them. Or same thing on Google, same thing on LinkedIn, or any place that you might buy ads. You're using the connections base that they have built because you don't have one. So I got a news flash for you here. Make your own network. Okay? Grow your connections so that you don't have to be part of that rat race. You know what? I don't buy ads. I've built an empire and I don't buy ads. I have taught thousands of people over the last 10 years how to do this without buying ads. Okay. So I know we have people in our network who do help people buy ads properly and in ways that actually are beneficial. They're great. Love to have them around. But I really still love grassroots, right? Talking to people. And social media can be used that way in so many different ways. We have a great social media boot camp and all kinds of different tools and things that we use to help train our business owners at CIBN Connect so that we show them how to do that so that they don't have to worry about buying ads. Right? So recently I did a video. In fact, it's here in, if you're on the WEN network, you will actually see it inside the videos. I did a video called Lead Sales and Results. Watch that video if that's something that you need. You can get some help with that so that you don't have to buy the ads. And if you don't see it there, if you're watching this on YouTube or on some other place, you can go to YouTube to CIBN TV and the video is up there. It's called Leads, Sales, and Results. That will help you. Okay, so growing your list. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, every connection that you make that's face-to-face, belly-to-belly, out in public, live or online, collect as many of the contact information people as possible and ask them if you can send something. You have to ask. You can't just start firing them stuff, okay? And if they say yes, you can send them some information. You can actually send them a series. You can move them towards your list, or you can create something like a lead generator where you say, if you want, I can I'll put you on my you don't ever call it a newsletter or my email list because nobody wants that like ever. But you can say, I can put you on my insiders list, and if you do that, you're going to get the 10 ways to do this. Okay, you can download my white paper research on X, something that they would be interested in having. And that's how you move them into that email list. Why email list? Because I don't own Facebook. Do you own Facebook? No. You might say, oh, big group. Great. But what happens if you come in one day and they froze up your page? I actually had a big business group. Facebook just shut it down one day. And then I had to go through this process where I had to ask for them to bring it back. They don't answer you. They don't say anything. 6 weeks later, it came back. I don't even know why. But you know what? I didn't have to wait for it or worry about it too much. I was a little ticked off. But the thing was, I had other ways of connecting with my tribe. I had an email list that has thousands on it. I have other people were always made admins in my groups and different things, so that some of them continue to operate. I had other things happening in LinkedIn and Twitter and other places. I had thousands of followers in those things. So we continued to do business like nothing was really going on. But many people rely only on one thing, and that's not wise, okay? Not wise at all, right? So it's a lot of building your connections is backing things up and having it in different places. So not all your eggs are in one basket. So just in case something like that happens, you're in the middle of a big promo, you can continue on business as usual if you back these things up and you have your connections coming in from more than one place. You want to grow your list as much as you can, because if you don't have a following of at least 10,000, you may as well just call it zero, okay? Because nobody's listening. If you have 39 friends on Facebook and 500 on Twitter and 52 on LinkedIn, you may as well call it zero, okay? It's not enough, because what it means is actually you make your pretty thing and you shout it out into a world where it's like an empty room. And it just echoes off the walls. Nothing happens. But you see, if you have at least 10,000 connections, and you post something out there, and especially if you belong to a network, this is another way we utilize our network. We actually train our members that when they see your posts, when I see Alan McDonald's post out there, our members are trained to not just like it, which pretty much does nothing. They're trained to say something and share it. And the reason they say something, they write a sentence and share it, is because that is something that the algorithms like on all social media channels and helps boost that up. And if you have a network of hundreds or thousands of people that belong to the network and you do this for each other, this is awesome. It helps things really take off for you. And I know when you join Haley's membership there, or her programs that she has on hers, she opens up opportunities for you, and the other members of the group see that, and they actually comment on stuff, and it gets stuff happening, and you can have posts that go viral in a big group. These are some of the advantages of working together instead of trying to slog it out on your own. Good luck with that. That really sucks. I mean, life is hard when you're trying to do this all on your own. But when you do it as a network and you go together, it is a huge, huge, huge advantage for you. Okay. So the fourth thing was grow your list. So remember again, it was number one was go to every event you can. Number two is learn from your network to avoid mistakes and grow faster. Number three was buy from and support your network whenever possible. Number four is grow your list, your connections, your Facebook groups, but particularly grow the email list so that you have this backup plan, right? And I see there that Alan said, ask your network for help. They will often give you the help, and they'll often do it for free. And that is a huge advantage because everybody's trying to soak you to take something from you. So it's great if you got a group of people who actually say, well, I'll help you out. I was on a call the other night. We've been doing some webinars. You can find them on our page at the CIBN.com on the event page. But we've been doing some free webinars. And at the end of the webinar, I usually close it out. We had just the most interesting thing happen. I didn't close it out. I just kind of introduced a couple of people that were new to the group, and they started chatting. And one lady said what she did, and she had a challenge. And the next one jumped up and fixed her problem and gave her an idea that's probably worth about $100,000 next year. Okay. Like, it was amazing. And all this happened, and it was free, and it was right there at the end of the meeting because we just kind of make that stuff happen. We just create an environment where it is easy for that to happen. And our members often just take advantage of that and just give out some good piece of advice or connect them to some resource they didn't know about, and it answers their challenge. It was amazing, actually, what happened there. It was almost like we turned into a mastermind at the end of the night, and it was just one thing. There was this epiphany moment, and boom, this woman had all of a sudden a major answer to something that she had been looking for, and it opened up a whole new world to her. So it was amazing. That's what real networking actually will do for you. Like, it really solves problems. It's awesome. Okay, number 5, the fifth thing is make appointments. Make appointments. Book a meeting from the meeting is something I always say. So at CIBN Connect meetings, we actually keep our chat open during the meetings, and we encourage members and guests to book meetings from the meeting at every meeting. Now, why would we do that? Well, I mentioned earlier that every business owner usually has 2 problems: lack of money, lack of time. Every business owner struggles with that. So if you're struggling with that, don't feel like you're alone. You're not alone. Most business owners have some challenges with some lack of money, lack of time, one or both. And as they get more successful, they often start seeing more money coming in, but time runs out. So it's kind of like when they have lots of time, they have no money. So it's back and forth like this, right? So we have discovered one way we can help business owners is help them book the meeting from the meeting while the meeting is going on. It's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. Because if you're in a networking meeting, see, I want to talk about the time factor here. We used to do networking belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball. You got to go to a meeting, you got to get a business card, you got to take it home, and usually you just end up with a box of business cards because people don't have time to actually do anything with the business cards. But in an ideal world, you'd want to connect with them on LinkedIn and friend them on Facebook, and you'd like to send them a message and try to connect and have a meeting, right? Problem is that we get home and we're busy, and the next day, we have the things that we're already lined up to do, so we don't get to those business cards right away. So when we started doing online networking in 2019, We realized right away that it was a quarter of the cost, quarter of the time for business owners. So that was great. But and also realized by bringing in some data over the period of the year that people actually made about 3 to 4 times the profit and what they did in belly-to-belly, face-to-face meetings. So that was also great. But we knew we could fix this problem of the follow-up. You see, everybody has the same problem. They get home, they get all these leads, they get all these cards, and they can't remember who they talked to, and they can't remember what they booked or if they booked. Most people don't book meetings from that meeting. You could do this live too. In fact, I've done it live. My record is 34 meetings booked in one meeting. I did that. Yeah. Just talking to people and booking them into your calendar on the spot. Okay. These trained salespeople do this. Well, online, it's so much easier because if you just keep the chats open, you can say, hey, if you see somebody has posted what they do and their contact information, and you'd like to book a meeting with them because you think they might be a collaborator or they might be somebody that could use your service, or maybe you're interested in their service, book the meeting now. Why wait? If the chats are open and they're able to talk to each other, just get it done. And in our meetings, members typically book 1 to 3 meetings every meeting that they're in. And when they do that, it's putting people right into the calendar for appointments. And many businesses run from appointment to appointment. I mean, really, if you're a life insurance salesperson, for example, financial planner, financial advisor, or whatever fancy name you want to call yourself, you need appointments. That's the bottom line. You got to get your stuff right in front of a prospective client, right? And you got to be able to ask them the questions and determine if they're the right fit, and then create a proposal and move them along to becoming a client. Well, the first step is you got to have a meeting. So why would you want to collect 20 business cards and phone them all tomorrow? When, as an alternative, you could just book them right while you're at the meeting. No calling them tomorrow. Save the hour or 2 on the phone and the chasing people who don't get back to you, because that inevitably happens, right? Because people are busy and they don't pick up. But if you're at the meeting and you can book the meeting while the meeting's going on, that's a huge, huge savings of time. And that happens at every CIBN Connect meeting. Even our webinars, we let people do that while the webinar is going on. I know it's crazy. Probably should keep them focused, but they're there to make money. And I just feel like if you're here to make money, we should help you make money, right? Why else do you go out networking? It's to make money. So we want to help you do that. So it's really important that you book appointments whenever you can. And then, I'm going to give you a little bit deeper here on the networking thing, because I think that a lot of people, you've been out networking somewhere and you're like, yeah, I tried that and it didn't really work. Okay, I feel you. I have heard people say that before. So I'm going to tell you something. If you're not making $150,000 a year from your networking, you're doing it wrong. Stop that. Okay. I want to explain a few things to you how you can do it right. And if you go to CIBN TV on the YouTube channel, you'll see a whole section there on networking, and you can learn more about how to do it right. But I'm going to tell you just a couple quick things here. First of all, the person that you want to meet, I know a lot of people are like, well, Kerry, you don't understand. The person that I want to meet does $1 million a year in volume, or has 30 employees or 500 employees, and they're not in the networking meeting. So networking is no good for me because I'm a special snowflake. No, you're not. Sorry. Other people in your industry actually come and get those clients from networking. What? Well, they're not there. No, you're right. They're not there. They're not there at all. That's not how networking works. The person that you're looking for is never in the room. Get over it. Okay? This is not how networking works in the first place. They don't have to be in the room. Okay? Everybody in the room knows other people, and that's how networking works. It's the people that aren't in the room that matter. It's not the ones who are in the room. So what you got to look for is who in the room would know the people that I want to meet. First of all, you got to identify who they are. And if you're looking for larger clients like that, you might be wanting to actually talk to people like the lawyers, the accountants, the marketers that have high ticket marketing, because they're working for those guys and they often know the decision makers in those companies. So you should become best friends with those guys. But no, that's not what most people do. They treat their networking in a very shoddy way. They have no respect for it. Said they meet somebody and they just immediately dismiss them like, well, they wouldn't buy from me, so I'm not going to give them any of my time. Well, if you have that attitude, they're not only not going to give you their time, they're certainly not going to give you the lead. They're not going to give you access to their premium client, okay? Because you just wrote them off and you acted like a bit of a, okay? So nobody wants to be friends with someone like that, like ever. And you don't either, right? So we don't want to act like that. If we want to get the business from the network, first of all, one of the key people that you can look to get to know quicker so this happens faster is what I would call a collaborating partner. Somebody who actually has the same target market as you, but they don't sell what you sell. They have something else. And ideally, a great collaborating partner is somebody who has clients, who's already fairly successful. They have 20, 40, 60, 100, 300 clients. Because if they have that many clients, then they have people they could refer to you, number one. But number two, they have to know, like, and trust you. And you don't have time to get to know 500 people in a network or 100 people in a network. But if you had one meeting with someone who has the same clients, same target market as you, that's a great person to invest more time in, right? Get them to know, like, and trust you. Instead of trying to win over 100 people or 500 people, this is somebody, especially if you met them once and you thought, I kind of like this guy or this girl. She's kind of like me. I enjoy her, right? Great. Book another meeting. Well, I already talked about everything in my business. She told me what I do. I told her, we exchanged information. Yeah, how's that working for you? Not so great, right? Because she didn't give you a bunch of her leads, a bunch of the people that she's doing business with. And why would she? You wouldn't either. I mean, really, you don't know her that well and she doesn't know you that well. So how can you move the relationship along? Well, the thing to do is have a second meeting. And on the second meeting, talk about your why. Talk about your vision. Ask her, why do you do what you do? What's your vision? Spend an hour asking deeper questions. Look her up online. Book another meeting. On the third meeting, okay, I know most people would never even go to 3 meetings. If they didn't get a lead, I'm like, I'm out of here. Well, good luck, because that is just not going to produce anything. People do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And building relationships is not instant rice, but it is extremely profitable. Extremely profitable. And when you make that third appointment with this person, this time you should bring them a lead. And then you should ask them, when I give you this lead, how will you approach this person? What kind of a process will you have with this person that I'm introducing you to? And get them to describe that to you. And then you describe to them, when you give me a lead, this is what I'm going to do. And I brought a lead for you today. And after this meeting, I'm going to CC the two of you in on an email where I'm going to introduce both of you together and explain why you need to meet and explain that you're both very busy and this is a high priority meeting and you should actually take the time to do this. Right? I do this all the time. If I was going to CC Haley Gray in on a connection where I was connecting her to, I would actually rave about her. I'd say all the things that she's good at, how she's awesome in marketing, how she really understands things like algorithms and how things work on Facebook. I would explain that. And then I would say she is incredibly busy. She runs a group that has 75,000 members. And I have to tell you, she does not have a lot of time. But then I would say, but Haley, I'm introducing you to my friend, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd make time for them and actually meet them. And when I say something like that in a CC email, do you know what the probability of those two people are to get together? Extremely high, like 99%. They typically will make time for each other when you put it into that context. And because they've been highly recommended, If they are in the market for the services, it's the sale is pretty much done deal. And if they are potentially great collaborating partners, it's all set up to begin making a relationship. They just have to walk through the steps now of spending a little bit of time together so that they know, like, and trust each other, so they can feed each other on an ongoing basis. And this is how real networking works. And if you've never done it that way, that's why it sucks. Okay? That's why it's not working. You have to work your nets to make your network work. Hello? Isn't that awesome? So it's all in these kinds of things. It comes down to making the appointments and doing the appointments. And different appointments have different reasons to do appointments. Sometimes somebody has already said they're interested in your service, or there's a known need for that service. Then the one-on-one might lead into a presentation, maybe. But I'm going to give you a word of caution about that too. Often when I'm doing a one-on-one the first time, I don't try to sell them anything. Usually, and it depends how big the product is. If they came out to a meeting and they know that our regular membership is $59 a month and we are open for the portal's open at that time to buy, and they wanted to meet with me, then I might actually get into that, because the $59 membership isn't a huge sale. I can usually mention a few key factors in like 5 minutes at the end of the meeting, and they're like, yeah, no problem, it's a go. But if I am talking to them about like our mentorship program or something like that, that might be $10,000 or $25,000, I'm not actually trying to sell that to them the first time I meet them. It's rude, first of all. And secondly, I haven't asked enough questions. And if I haven't having a one-on-one with this person, I'm really only gathering information on that first one-on-one. So in the last 15 minutes, I'm not going to try and pitch them on a $10,000 product, because they don't know me. I'm still a stranger to them. The thing that I would try to do at that point is I would say, it's been great meeting you, and I'm so glad that you answered all these great questions for me. I think I'm going to take them now, and I'm going to consider what you have said, and I'm going to put together a proposal that I think may interest you. I think may be able to solve some of the challenges that you told me that you had. So I'd like to book another meeting where we could talk about that. And we book the meeting. And then we come back a week later. I like it to be about a week, because I really do contemplate. That's not a line of BS. I actually go look up their websites and look at different things that they're doing. I make some notes. I add to the notes that they gave me. It's going to give me a handful of more questions to ask them when we get back together. And then when I come back together with them, I'm going to get those questions answered before I begin. And then I'm going to say, well, based off what you told me last week and what you just told me now, I believe that this program is going to be a benefit to you. If I believe that. Okay, if I don't actually believe that one of these programs is going to be a benefit to them, I don't try to sell it to them. I actually refer them to somebody else. See, from what I see, from what you told me, you need this, this, and this. And I do this thing sort of, but not those things. So I'm going to refer you to my good friend so-and-so. And I refer them. And then I CC the two of them in on an email, just like I mentioned before. And I set it up in a way that it's going to be successful for all parties involved. And that's what real networking looks like. We don't pounce on people. We don't lick their face like a St. Bernard and try to convince them to buy stuff that they don't need and they don't want. Okay? We just work with people. And we enjoy working with people. We ask questions. We put the right people together so that they can get more. And then together, we go together. And when we go together, man, we save money on mistakes. We save time. We save, effort. And we have a good time as we do it. And everybody profits. And it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. And that is what real networking looks like. So let's just go over this one more time about how to use your network. Well, number one, go to every event you can. Number two, learn from your network so that you can avoid mistakes and grow faster. Number three, buy from and support your network and buy a membership if you can. And number four, grow your list, your connections, your groups, and especially your email lists. And number five, make appointments. Book a meeting from every meeting you can, or it was a waste of your meeting. So those are 5 ways that you can use your network to get ahead. And I would encourage you to do that. If you need more information about networking, social media, masterminds, I would recommend 2 resources for you. The CIBN.com is our website, and there's lots of cool stuff there. And have a look at the membership page to see what kind of membership is open right now. If what you want is not there, join the waiting list. The other resource that I would like to give to you that is a free resource for everybody who's listening today, we have a great YouTube channel. It's called CIBN TV. If you go there and you watch a video that you like, please subscribe. We're working on getting those subscriptions up because YouTube doesn't want to tell the world how awesome we are until we have enough subscribers and we've got people, that are making comments. So please do us a great favor by making a comment that's positive on a video and please subscribe to the channel, CIBN TV. Looking forward to talking to you more. I'm going live every day for the next 30 days, 25 days, whatever it is. Having a lot of fun. I always end every broadcast with happy capitalism. Have a great day. Happy capitalism. See you soon.